Good morning. It's Sunday morning, the 7th. It's actually Super Bowl Sunday, about 8 o'clock in the morning, and we are on our way to meet with a homeless person named Jonathan. Jonathan's agreed to allow us to film him for a few days and basically show us his day-to-day survival skills on the streets of Salt Lake City and how he makes it through each day. And I spoke to him last week, and the only request he made to allow us to film was he wanted me to bring him a pair of socks. So we put together a little care package for Jonathan. 3 pair of socks, a pair of pants, a couple of shirts, and some snacks and water. And I'm actually going right now to pick up a hot breakfast for Jonathan, and we're going to meet him in the area of 13th South and State Street. Apparently he lives behind a building down in Salt Lake, back in the bushes, and he's built him a shelter out of a tarp. So we're going to meet him there, and he's going to show us around. And you know, 6-7 hours from now, I'll be home in front of a warm fire, having a barbecue with my kids and enjoying the Super Bowl, and Jonathan will still be out here. It's a beautiful day today, but it's very cold, and he's gonna be out here trying to survive another day. Just really sad. Well, a little change of plans. We went to our meeting spot and Jonathan wasn't there, and we just spotted him at 6 South and State Street panhandling, so we're gonna go meet him there real quick.
My name's Jonathan. I've been homeless like right now about 3.5 years. A little background of where I came from and how I became homeless is 3.5 years ago I had surgery on my foot, and years prior to that I was a drug addict. I was a heroin addict, and I became homeless, and I got off the heroin, and I was clean for 7 years, and then I built my way up into this company of where I was a manager. They put me through management school and all that stuff, and I became a manager of a company, and I had 300 employees working for me at the time. And I had surgery on my foot, and I never thought about my addiction at that time. I'd been clean for 7 years, and I ate some pain pills after my surgery, and the next day I was doing heroin. And that led to my downfall of losing my job, losing my place to live, my vehicle, everything, and I ended up out here. And I went through detox, I'd say probably 12 to 14 times in this past 3 years. Right now I'm clean. I haven't used drugs, but it's really hard when you're out here on the streets not to use, because it's almost like they suppress you to, not go anywhere. Being homeless, it's big business being homeless for people. It keeps people's jobs. It gives them, it's their job security to keep us homeless. It's not that easy. You hear people out here when I fly my sign telling me to get a job. It's not that easy just to get a job. We don't have you gotta have ID, you gotta have clean clothes, you gotta have a residence, a phone, all that stuff. It's not just that easy just to go out and get a job. There's menial jobs that you can do, but to get a regular full-time job is not that easy. And my normal routine every day is when I wake up, I come over here and I fly my sign, and I try to get enough money so I can, get some small things that I need through the day, food and just the necessities. But every day is a battle for finding, you know, a shelter. I sleep outside. I've slept outside for 3.5 years, and I could stay at the shelter, but if I go over there, it's not a very good. It's like sending an alcoholic back into a bar that's been trying to quit alcohol. You know, there's so many drugs over there. It's really bad environment. So I try to stay away from it as much as possible. But I don't have, you know, it's kind of lonely out here, and them are the only friends that I have is over there, or companions, I should say, not really friends. And let's see. Yeah, my normal routine, sometimes I'll stand here for 10, 12 hours in the daytime, and you know, I could get $50, I could get 50 cents. I've stood out here 12 hours before, and the worst day I've ever had, I got 60 cents in 12 hours. So, and people are extremely cruel.
Love you guys. Stay warm, man.
Right on. And just about the time that you're really low on people, and you're really down on people, the way they treat you, somebody comes along that treats you really good and it lifts you back up. It almost happens constantly right when you're at your lowest point. And there for a while I thought I was going a little crazy, because I thought I was turning into a sociopath because I couldn't stand people the way they treated you. And I've never been that way, you know. It's hurtful the way people treat you. And I think it's just because they don't understand what's out here. And that's pretty much my story. You know, my life is really, really boring. You know, I just try to survive every day, and it's hard to get the access to resources that you need, because you can't do it on your own. You got to have somebody to help you, and a lot of people don't want to help you because you're homeless. So it's a two-way street. I kind of just wanted to add a couple of things that on there that, you know, I told you I became a manager of a place where I worked, and I have a bunch of employees that work for me, and I've had some of my employees come by where I'm flying my sign, and here's your boss standing here. If you don't think that's humbling, everybody needs to be humbled in their lifetime, and this is the most humbling thing that I've ever done in my life. And people, when they do say get a job, this is harder than any job that I've ever had in my life too. It's the hardest thing I've ever done. I've been in the military, I've been in jail, I've been in some pretty rough spots, and this is definitely one of the hardest things I've ever had to do. And another thing, some of the cruelties that these people do.
He's got food for you.
Okay, I'll be right back. But I was saying about some of the cruelties that's happened to me when I was flying my sign. I don't think anybody deserves to have, you know, I've been spit on, I've been called every name in the book, I've had stuff thrown on me, I've had like Slurpees thrown on me, bottles of water, I've had pennies thrown at me. When somebody drives by doing 40 miles an hour and hits you with change, it hurts a little bit. I've even had a guy pull a gun on me. And if his girlfriend wouldn't have been there, he would have shot me. There's no doubt in my mind. That's how crazy he was. And I don't understand. You know, I consider myself a fairly intelligent person. I'm not the smartest guy in the world, but I have no idea why people would do such things, you know? So the only thing that I can think of is the unknown makes them not understanding what we're about, makes them angry. They think we're getting all this money. Maybe some guys are getting money, but not every homeless guy is the same. Not every homeless guy. A lot of them sure are alcoholics and drug addicts, but that's self-medication so they can hide their emotions from being out here, being depressed and being treated differently. So that's pretty much all I got to say, and I want people to understand, it's not what they think. It's nothing what they think. They say ignorance is bliss. Ignorance is not bliss. Ignorance is straight stupidity.